All right. So the first recommendation, and this has come up quite a bit, and I think is a really great way to think of the LENA data. But the first recommendation is to view the data through an equity lens. So are all kids getting the same access to language and interactive talk opportunities? Basically, are we treating all our kids the same? Are we interacting as much with the kids who talk a lot and who are super interactive with the kids who are maybe more withdrawn or quieter or younger? Where else are we going to get this kind of data that shows us exactly what those days look like? So since the room summary report gives you the visual breakdown of average turns throughout the day per child, it's a great way to look at how interactive talk is spread among the children in the room. So we certainly expect variability from child to child as interactive talk is impacted by both the child and the teacher. And we expect some kids to have higher turns if they're more verbal, of course, but we also expect that the kids who are maybe earlier developing or younger, we still can count turns that aren't true words. Any type of vocalization that's communicative counts as a turn. So we want to make sure that we're reflecting basically ample engagement with all of our kids throughout the day. So Emisha, just so I know that this is something that you guys look at a lot. Can you give an example of how you focused on the individual talk clocks in your coaching sessions?
Yes, I think looking at the individual talk clocks as an equity lens has been huge for us. I think our teachers had some initial impressions that their older toddlers were getting more talk, and but really to be able to see it individually, we've seen that our infants are actually getting more conversational turns than some of our older toddlers. We've also noticed that our DLL students aren't getting as many conversational turns. And so when we're able to look at each child, we've been able to set goals for individual children or groups of children like our DLLs, or even encouraging the teachers to share all that baby love with some of the toddlers who may be experiencing more challenging behaviors, just encouraging them to interact with them more. And so it's been really helpful for us.
Nice. And just to clarify, when you say DLLs, you mean dual language learners?
Yes, our dual language learners.
Great. So when you say that they're able to kind of pick out the kids that they need to focus on more, how do they fit that into their goal setting? Do they just decide a specific child? Do they do it as a team of teachers, or what does that look like?
Yes, so when we initially started, I was just meeting with the lead teacher, and then she would go back and share that information, but we decided to meet as a whole team. We have 2 to 3 teachers in our classrooms, and so we've started doing the meetings within the classroom. And so the teachers have really taken ownership of, okay, I'm going to focus on, 2 or 3 kids, and then you focus on 2 or 3 kids. So they've been able to create those goals as a classroom and really find specific children to focus on. In one classroom, we have a Spanish-speaking intern, and so they've encouraged her to have more conversations, and we've been able to see from our data when the intern is present and when she's not there, that student, his conversational turns increases when she's in the classroom. And then in another classroom, we've been able to see the progress that they've made with focusing on individual children.
That's awesome. So I love how you brought it back to like they set the goals and then they're able to see the child's talk clock the next week and see if the different hours there's different wedges filled in, or if it turned from orange to green, or.
And I think the immediate feedback that teachers have really enjoyed, we collect a lot of data in our program, but often, just because of the way that the data is collected, we don't always get feedback, immediately. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 months if it's a larger research project. And so being able to see it from week to week has really helped to encourage the teachers that what you're doing, it matters, keep going. And then being able to see those things that can sometimes get in the way.
That's awesome. That makes a lot of sense too. Like one of the main features of having the reports generated before the next coaching session is exactly what you're saying, like getting that feedback quickly so that you can act on it results in better outcomes typically, so that you're not waiting exactly like 2 or 3 months to know what your if you were observed or something like that, what did they think? What was the outcome? You have fairly immediate feedback.
Mhm.